then.
Hello there. Yeah, I can edit this. Yeah.
Morning.
Yeah. Morning, everybody. Sorry, we were on. Tony was just asking if we could edit it and make him look handsome. I can, but we'll be releasing it in 2027.
You're a video editor, not a miracle worker, Gareth.
Yeah, that's the one. So the question is today, do you have a will? Has something in your life changed? That's a good question, because change sometimes can be as good as the rest. But are you getting married? Do you have children? Or are you separating? Do you need to update your will? Well, this is a very interesting topic. And with us, we have Tony Carter from the Legacy Studio. Tony is one of our regular networkers. And I have to say, it's absolutely fantastic when he comes along, because he really does put a completely different spin on death. But we know that there are certain things in life which are guaranteed, and one of those things is taxes, and the other one is death. So, Tony, how are you?
Great, yeah.
Glad to be alive.
Absolutely, yeah. It's one of the achievements every morning. Just check.
You wake up and go, oh, another one. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but there we are. So yes. So obviously you come to 1 hour networking. You come along, and we have quite the laugh about your business is very hard to sell, talk about, promote, because it is doom and gloom.
Yeah, and if you're dead serious, if you're serious about it all the time and straight, boy, is it depressing.
Oh yeah.
It would drive me into the ground.
Yeah.
I've got to find humor. And also when you're talking to people who are smiling and with a bit of humor reveal a lot more.
Yeah.
And a lot more relaxed. So they don't sit there sort of panicky.
Mm.
So it is, I feel it's important to obviously get the details out of people, but to do it in a light-hearted fashion.
Yeah.
But each person is different. I have had one person who I could tell straight away it was dead serious all the way through, and 50-odd-year-old bloke who's in tears on his own. Very, he was so out of his comfort zone discussing what if.
Yeah, it's tough.
Oh gosh.
And a lot of people, of course, put it off because they don't want that discussion. And they think that when they've done a will, they will die immediately.
Yeah.
And that's not true. It doesn't.
Like signing up for death, isn't it? All right.
Yeah. I mean, I've had 2 people who have died within 36 hours of doing the will, but they were rushed cases.
Yeah. You knew it was going to come.
Yeah, and it's not good to leave it to that stage.
No, because you can't in the last minute go, oh no, hang on.
Yeah, I want to change that.
Mind. I want to leave more to the cat.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's not going to get pushed through quick enough. Oh man, yeah, it's funny because obviously, as I say, you come networking and that, and basically we do hear some horror stories, because even though it's one of the hardest things to actually sell, promote, talk about, etc., it is extremely necessary for people to have this kind of these things in place ready for, because you could get hit by a bus. You could be an extremely healthy athlete.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to one person, and you know them, so I'm not going to put names on this, but for 2 years, they were saying, must sort out LPA, lasting powers of attorney, must do this, that, and the other. And she was listening to the stories and stuff, and eventually, all of a sudden, out of the blue, I got this phone call. I need to sort these out. And I said, why now? Well, my husband got hit by a car crossing the road.
Yeah.
And he said, actually, he stepped off the pavement and a parked car set off and reversed into him. So it wasn't a disaster. but she realised all of a sudden that it could have been.
Yeah.
And if you don't have things in place,
Yeah.
nobody can do anything.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You can't actually. I've got personal experience, you know, and where relatives they've had to put their hand in their own pocket for nursing home fees, for things like that, because there's nothing been in place. So they're like, well, we got to get this through, we got to get that through, and it's not just a case of, oh, okay, it's easier, you know, when it's happened. It's a case of it's actually a lot harder.
Oh,
yeah,
at least 8 months,
yeah,
and thousands of pounds to put it in place afterwards. And not only that, people then have to do accounts every year to give to the Court of Protection to prove where every penny has gone.
yeah.
So it's.
Yeah.
And I think people forget that if you haven't got a will, the government have already written one for you, and they'll make your decisions.
Yes. Yeah.
And that can affect children as well.
Yeah. But as you know, one of my stories about what happens if you don't have a will, and the person had a will, it was in his pocket, but it wasn't signed. So it was worthless, but all his wishes were there. And he was the richest commoner in England, he was classed as. He was worth 2 million, which is 250 million today in today's money.
Right.
But he didn't have a will. He had no immediate family either. He'd given thousands away during his lifetime, although people called him a bit of a miser. And it was what happens to the stuff. And because he had no immediate relatives, but loads of extended family, people were getting their solicitors from the States and everywhere else to come in and try and claim a bit. And after 117 years, they closed it because every penny of 250 million pounds had been spent by the lawyers arguing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And a case near me in Huddersfield, they've 1.4 million pounds worth of estate has gone in argument because one person wasn't in it and has argued, and his attitude was, well, if I'm not getting anything, nobody else is.
Yeah.
So they've wasted all the money.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's where it all goes at the end.
Yeah.
And it always goes to the lawyers.
Well, quite often it does, allegedly.
Yeah, when you don't put things in place, you know, the only people who benefit.
Yeah.
I love what you say is if you want to annoy people in your family, don't make a will.
Yeah, if you want to be remembered forever, don't make a will. Because they really will.
All the argument. Wow.
Is it a long process, Tony, to do a will?
No. I generally sit down with people. I'll do it on Zoom. I'll go and see them, whatever they want. They can cut me off Zoom when they've had enough, or it's easier than throwing me out of the house. So we have a discussion, get to what you want. It can be, I generally say about an hour because we don't just wade straight in. But it can be a lot quicker than that. And then I wander off and put it all together and get back to them. They check it and we change it as much as they want. People change their minds from the discussion to when it's done. And I always say, well, look, up until the time we've signed it, we'll just keep changing it. You've got to be happy with what you've got.
Yeah.
So this is what we'll get in place. You can have a look at it, see if you've changed your mind, see if you want to do anything else, and we'll keep changing it and changing it and changing it until you're ready. And I don't charge by the hour. I have a fixed fee for doing it. So, you know, I don't try and say to people, well, if you want to change that, that's extra, or you want this on. I'm not Ryanair.
No.
Very flat fee. This is my prices. You get to know that up front. And if you like it, you deal with me. If you like me. And if you don't, that's fine. Go and do it somewhere else, because as long as you do it, I don't care. People need to have these in place. And the warning on doing your own will, which of course you can do, is 86% of people's wills that they've written themselves are contested or don't work or are invalid.
Wow.
Because they've done something wrong.
And they find legal speak ways to get round you might phrase something which is a little ambiguous, and then all of a sudden a
Well,
lawyer's got
yeah.
a way in.
I was talking to somebody the other month now, and they'd got one of their parents' wills, and it was done by the legal profession, and they didn't understand it. Mine are in plain English, 8-year-olds, but they didn't understand it, so they went back to the solicitors and said, "What does this mean?" And they ended up with the managing partner, top man in the firm, who said, "Well, I think what they mean is this."
Well, I think.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Another lawyer said to me, "If you want 36 different opinions, ask 36 lawyers."
Yeah.
So make these things simple. And one of my other things is, if you ask will writers and lawyers, how much for a simple will? The first thing everybody says is there's no such thing as a simple will. Well, there should be, and there is. The complication is getting it all sorted beforehand.
Yeah.
And then you make it very, very, very simple.
Yeah.
So no matter what you want, I have a flat rate. And if it takes me 6 months to do it, that's my problem, not yours. Just make these things simple so that everybody can understand it and there's no argument.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Wow. You also do lasting powers of attorney, don't you, Tony? So
yeah.
Do you see them as being more important or of similar importance? Or
they are more important for the person because they affect them while they are alive.
Yeah, that's true.
And I have come across, everybody thinks it's for the granny or the person with dementia at the end of life. It's young kids fall off motorbikes, car accidents. You get illnesses, viruses can mean you've no capacity mentally for a few months. And I've come across people, I've met just daughters, both cases, daughters, their fathers, different ends of the country. Fathers have been ill in hospital. And because nobody could sort out their financial affairs while they were in there, they've lost their houses.
Wow.
Which is quite frightening.
Yeah.
And one was a 2-bedroom place in Twickenham, so I don't suppose that's worth a lot, but...
Oh, yeah, not much.
Twickenham?
Yeah, it's quite horrific. And it's such a simple thing to put in place.
Yeah.
You've got to get it right, put it in place, store it away, and use it when it's necessary.
Yeah.
And I'd say about the finance one, because there's finance and health and well-being. People might need to use your finance one while you're on a world cruise. It's not always doom and gloom.
Mm.
At least everything is being taken care of, and your pension's being looked after. Because, as you know, because we hear it a lot in networking, financial advisors are always advising people to keep their pension pots up to date and review their investments and stuff, because investments go down and go off and aren't as good as they used to be or when they started. And you move things about. But if you've got investments and the financial advisor can't deal with it because you have no power of attorney in place, your financial position goes down very quickly. And if you are a business, businesses close very, very quickly if there's nobody there to run it, pay the wages, look after it, do the day-to-day.
Not just that, if you're in a partnership as well. Things like that.
Yeah. I mean, I do say,
stress, isn't there? And
if you're in a partnership, don't have your business partner on your power of attorney, because he's meant to look after your interests, but sometimes the temptation is too great. And how do you argue it?
But somebody has to be able to obviously help them get access to stuff.
Help them make the right decisions. Put somebody in to make the right decisions for you.
Yeah,
that sort of thing. There's another story I've told, and I'm sure you've heard it, about 3 directors of a business working in it, and they'd done a deal to sell their business for £15 million to a bunch of Americans. And the week before they signed, one of them was in a car accident, and he was in a coma for months. And he came out of it, and after 6 months, they went back to the Americans and said, "We can sign it now. Let's do the deal." And they said, "New financial year makes no sense at all. We're not doing the deal." The 3 directors sold their business 2 years later for £7 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
One bit of paper, £8 million.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
Businesses need these in place. People need these things in place.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to do beforehand, but so difficult to do afterwards. You know, to get the same control and power. It's horrific.
Yeah. It's amazing how it seems to land on deaf ears, as they say, with a lot of people. And I know that basically I sorted my parents with an RPA, but I haven't done myself.
Well,
and
some people just put it off. You know, I'll do it later. I mean, it's always nagging on the mind. I must do this, and it nags them away. Huge release when it's done. But I know other people who deliberately won't do a will because they don't care how much chaos. It's not my problem. Somebody else will sort out the mess when I'm gone. How selfish.
Yeah.
Do you want to be?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't like your family.
I had a conversation with somebody a few years ago, very much on those lines, and her partner wouldn't do wills and powers of attorney. And I said to her, and he got some illnesses, and I said to her, so how would he take it? Because we were going to meet him and do hers in front of him and stuff. How will he take it if I call him selfish? I said, I won't put it quite like that, but, and she sort of said, won't make much difference. I never found out because 2 minutes into the conversation, she called him selfish. Full on.
Both barrels. There you go.
And he wasn't bothered. But it's mindset. But you can only help people who want to be helped in anything, can't you?
Exactly. How did you get into this then? How did you get into doing wills and stuff?
I was looking for a change, and I've always been interested in organization, finance. I come from a business background. A lot of my time spent with a will is organized, seeing what the organization is people have got behind them, so that it's all simple to do the will. And I was looking for what else to do, and never going to be a financial advisor. Too much training, too much this, that, and the other, and you know, I just don't need that at this stage of life. So I was going to do mortgage brokers, and they loved me for saying it because I thought mortgage broking, simple, really. You know, not much stress, you just do it. But then I had to find a compliance house who would deal with me. And because most of them like you to have done 2 or 3 years in a bank or building society or whatever. So I found this compliance house, and there was a guy there talking about wills. And this flashlight moment came on and said, actually, there's only one deadline in wills. Nobody yelling at you to get it done. Do it from anywhere. People basically lie to mortgage brokers. This is my belief. It's not always true.
I love it. Caveat.
Yeah. They lie to mortgage brokers. They mislead financial advisors. They tell me the truth. Because what's to be gained by not?
Yeah.
And on the financial advice, they think they don't. I went to see one person. I was referred in by a financial advisor, get into the conversation. And of course, I said, well, your financial advisor knows all about your finances. And he said, well, I've got £80,000 here that he doesn't know about, stuck in this account.
Bloody hell.
So I went through and I said to him at the end, well, I said to him, you do realise that means all his advice is wrong, technically. And at the end, I said to him, so this £80,000, are you going to tell him or am I? And he said, will you tell him, please? So I went back to the financial advisor and told him, we just went, oh no, all that work is wrong. I've got to start again.
Yeah.
But that's what got me into it. But I got my first will at the age of 23. I revised it 5 years later when circumstances changed.
Right.
I did it again 5 years after that because first time it was a business, this, that, and the other, got married, do a will. 5 years later, got kids, need to change it. 5 years after that, it was, okay, we've got the guardians, were my sister who was on the south coast, kids are now 5, they're in school, they've got friends. Not really fair to pull the kids away from the parents if they're killed and away from all their friends.
Yeah.
So who are we going to get to be guardians now? And we move the guardians to Judas' brother, who's in Huddersfield. So things change. I changed my will. So I've always been on top of it. I've done 6 or 7 wills in my lifetime. The only time I haven't done it, of course, is when I can do it myself.
Yeah.
So keep saying I must do it.
So really, you went into it to save yourself money because of.
Well, no, because I haven't done mine. I haven't done mine. But it was something I'm always interested in. I've always had this thing. I've got a lot of friends who are lawyers, probably a few less than a few years ago. So I've always been on top of it. And I come from wills now with a much more, the current trend is holistic, isn't it? Full look at a whole picture of what's going on, not just what you want to do.
Yeah.
And you see too many people who, oh, you want to do that, right? Let's do it, and that's it. Why do you want to do that? What about this? What if that happens? What if this happens? Making people think. And I often say to a couple, look, I'm going to say some things that upset you. It's not designed to upset you. It's there to make you think. Because you come with solutions, but actually there are other alternatives and there are consequences of what you are saying.
Yeah.
We have to understand the consequences.
Yeah. So questions like, which one is your favorite child? Sorry, that's me being facetious. I do apologize.
I don't think that's going to work, Gareth.
No.
So what do you think your biggest learning experience has been, Tony, while you've been doing this?
While I've been doing this, or while I've been doing businesses?
Well, let's do both. While you've been doing wills, and then let's do while you've been in business.
Wills. Wills is a tricky. It's realizing how many different attitudes people have to what they've got.
Yeah.
I mean, Phil from RM Gold, who we all know, he's very much into people's views on money, isn't he? And how people think about money.
Yeah.
And that obviously affects how they think about their wills. And so you can't ever go into anything thinking, oh, they've got kids, they'll just want everything to go to the kids. No, don't want that. I've got people who say, yeah, it can go to the kids, but not the grandkids.
Really?
Yeah. I've got others who say it can go to the grandkids, it's not going to the kids.
Yes.
You just never know where it's going, which is always interesting.
Yeah.
But part of that is finding out their reasoning for that, because you've got to have the reasons clearly down and noted so that if there's an argument, you've got the person's reasons why they did this.
It's a perfect job for a gossip.
I say, it's great because I can't repeat anything.
What did they do?
But, it suits me because I like talking to people and I'm nosy.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And
what about in business then? What's been the biggest learning experience in business?
When things go wrong. Every time you learn far more from things going wrong than you do from things going right.
Yeah.
And I always, if you want to go into business with somebody, my view is you always look for somebody who has been through the mill, not just got a load of money and nothing ever's gone wrong.
Yeah.
Just find somebody who's done something successfully, lost it all and made it back, because you want people who've got the resilience and the bounce and have learned from that mistake, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you learn far more from hard times than you do from good times.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree with that.
What does 2022 hold for you then? What's your plans for this year?
More of the same. I am not here to build a massive business brand or whatever. I just will want to do people's wills and powers of attorney so that they are you're relaxed and everything's in place for them. I've been around a few years. My kids have all left home. I don't have to feed a huge machine. I don't need to build a big brand. I'm never going to employ anybody because that's just headaches for me. So using VAs if I need to is fine, but I'm not employing anybody. So yeah, I don't have a huge desire to build a massive business brand or anything. It's not me at the moment now. I've done the work, I've done the hours, I've done this, that, and the other.
Yeah. Just enjoying what you're doing.
The same then.
Yeah.
Yeah, more of the same. And it's something I was saying earlier on this morning while you were still suffering from your cold and
I am dying.
Hiding.
That.
That I see no reason to ever give this up as long as my brain is working.
Yeah.
And if people start thinking, well, he's an old sod, so there's no point talking to them, or it becomes stuffy or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've no intention of building a brand to sell, doing this to that, the other. I just
enjoying what you're doing and just getting on with it, really.
Getting on with it, yeah. Giving people what they want, getting it done. I can do it. It's ridiculous. Like a lot of people, I can do this from anywhere now. Yeah. Okay, I still go and see a lot of people face to face, but I can do it through Zoom.
Yeah.
And do everything like that, and then go and see them to sign it off. So, it's great business for me.
It's made trading over a bigger area, geographical area, very simple.
Yeah, I've got customers and I've dealt with in the Isle of Wight, Dorset, all around the place.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything, the infrastructure is all in place now, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
As we were saying at networking this morning, productivity is actually up. So
yeah, it is.
It's not true that if people work from home that they will skive. They actually work longer and harder.
It sounds, I told you so, but I've said that before. People feel guilty if they're working from home about having a lunch or putting the washing machine on or something. They don't feel guilty at work about talking around the water cooler, as they say.
Exactly, yeah.
They just get on and do things. And people don't know when to cut off.
No.
So 5 o'clock, they're still working and they've got all this work to do. They work to 10 o'clock at night.
They've got a train to catch. They haven't got a train to catch.
No.
They haven't got a bus to catch.
Yeah.
They don't want to beat the traffic. That kind of thing is there.
Yeah. And it's not. One of the hardest things working from home and working for yourself is learning to stop and not continually go back into your computer and do things and doing bits and pieces.
Yeah.
It's being able to say, right, I'm going to have 2 hours off now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and do this. I'll go and walk the dog. I'll, go and do some shopping, whatever it is, because you do your work when you need to.
Yeah.
I was listening to somebody on the radio a while ago, and I realized he was like me. He said, I've never hit a deadline in my life because I've never had a deadline, because if I've got something to do, I do it.
Yeah.
Get it done, get it out of the way. Deadlines are immaterial because I've done it. I've finished it. And I got in trouble with a mate from school years and years ago who said, hey, we hate you because you get work to do, you get it done. And then when we're all trying to do it last minute, you're pissing about annoying us all.
Yeah.
Well, who's the fool?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who is the fool?
Who's the fool?
But people procrastinate, don't they?
Yeah, all the time.
They do it in wills. I'm sure they do it buying cars, leasing cars and stuff. It's
in anything. Gareth will say the same about making decisions on video. It's people do delay decisions.
Yeah.
So in your daily working life, do you use any apps or productivity tools or stuff like that can help people?
The apps I use are banking apps all the time. Being a Yorkshireman, I like to keep an eye on what the finances are.
Yeah.
As somebody else said, I use the diary, that sort of things. I like Zoom in its place. I don't like
a Yorkshireman with his bank book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too right.
I'm not over keen. I like the 1 hour networking on Zoom. I don't like many other Zoom networking meetings. I much prefer face to face. And I suppose have I missed the app situation?
No, I don't think you have. I still have my A5 jotter that I write everything in. I don't put it onto a to-do list on screen or anything like that. I think
I have a
place for the manual.
I have my book. I have a book I write in.
I have a wodge of ripped up paper.
All right.
That if I've got something to do, I write it on there and throw it away when I've done it.
Yeah. Sort
of thing. That's an old habit from something else. And I've got a book as well that I use for other more permanent notes.
Yeah, exactly. It works as well as any computerized situation, probably more.
I use the Outlook diary, of course, all the time.
Yeah.
It reminds me of things. But no, it's a balance. I think my views on LinkedIn and Facebook. I've heard they exist, but I don't particularly use them that much. I'm one of those people who watches rather than gets involved too much.
Yeah,
a stalker,
an observer, not
an observer.
Yeah,
observer.
Yeah,
that's brilliant. Well, will you be joining us tomorrow in our quiz?
I could well be, actually. Yes, except it's music, and
but you get to sit in a team. So
yeah, I'll be there.
Teams of 4, so you might know some. I love a music quiz, but I'm like, when I do Popmaster, I get like 3 if I'm lucky.
Yeah,
3 points, that is. So basically,
and part of the fun of the quiz, of course, is watching you trying to pronounce.
Oh, thank you.
Stuff that Gareth gives you to do.
Gareth likes to give me really difficult things to pronounce, and yes, he's very good at that. And
there is one in there tomorrow.
There is, and I'm sure that the entire hour is just people going, say it again, say it again, say it again, like we did with the Greek Prime Minister, which I'm not even going to attempt. Okay, thank you very much. But yes, so thank you very much, Tony, for that. It's been a great little chat. Really interesting, and I do love the way that you put the spin on death the way that you do, because as people need to realize, it is one of the certainties in life, and being prepared and getting your family prepared is a great thing to do. So and basically just want to say thank you for coming along to 1 Hour Networking as well. Go on.
People who are watching this should come to the 1 Hour Networking meetings, because there is a real mix in there.
Yeah.
There's good fun and serious networking.
Yeah.
We learn a lot every time. We meet new people, and we have a bit of a laugh.
Good fun.
Exactly. So, and that's what it should be. Networking should be enjoyable and also constructive. Yeah, which is what we're trying to achieve. So yeah, we do 1 Hour Networking every Wednesday, 8 till 9 and 12:30 to 1:30. You can find out all of our meetings on onehournetworking.co.uk. I'll put the link into the thread. And basically, tomorrow is the quiz, 1 till 2 o'clock in Netopia, our metaverse, where we can walk around and talk to people, and you can, when you get near them, the video comes on, their audio comes on, you can chat, and then you can move on and talk to somebody else. Coffee morning every Friday morning, 10 to 11 in the metaverse. And then interactive networking is the last Friday of every month. And the next one is the 25th of
next Friday,
which is a week Friday, isn't it?
Week Friday, yes,
week Friday. Week Friday is interactive networking, and that is a speed networking event, which is really good fun as well. So so feel free to come along. And if you'd like to be on Business TV, then get in touch. We'd love to hear about you, your business, how you got into it, what you do, etc., really. And that's it, really.
Thanks, Tony.
Any more for
Thanks
anyone?
a lot.
Thanks, Tony. I'll see you later, guys. Cheers.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.